Well, well, well. Sometimes things are just very convenient. Scott Harris spoke, which is I've asked him to. MLB Network.
On the morning show?
Oh. No, not the flagship. And I had no desire. He would never appear here. Not after how it went with Avila or Stan Van. No, this is not a safe space. Like, we're just going to talk. You don't cure cancer. You spend a billionaire's money and formulate a fantasy baseball team. Sorry. You go on with cookies. Or go with Doug and Scott. They're very friendly people. But he goes on MLB Network. Now, I don't know what Scott Harris said. I heard the little snippet from Jeremy. So I am now going to back off, and I want to listen. I want to hear what Scott Harris had to say. So who's got the quotes?
I do right here. From the moment I got here, Chris Ilitch said that we would have the resources to build a really competitive club and to build a club that can sustain winning over a period of time. We're not quite there yet as far as spending at that level, because we need to build the foundation of this team to put us in that position to supplement it with some free agent signings in the upcoming winters.
So we have the money, but we don't think our team is ready yet, so we're not going to spend the money until we feel like our team is ready. Did I hear that correctly?
We're not ready to spend, essentially. We're not at a
because
place.
Our team's not ready yet, but you won't spend the money to get your team ready. So you're living a vicious circle. Maybe I misinterpreted that. I don't think I did.
Let me give you my initial thought, because it's live and we have to react live. So, A, I can't condemn him for talking because that's what I wanted. And I have asked him, at a certain point, just tell us who you are. Tell us what you are. Now, I don't like the message, but I'm glad he said it. Because now I fully reserve the right to not care. Because you're telling me you're not trying. You're telling me this is a developmental year. You're telling me that what you said in the offseason, or what AJ said about we feel we've got a talented player at the big league level and a good young player behind him, and there's no at-bats for such free agents. AJ had that quote, right? Now you're doubling back, and you're telling me something a little different. You're basically telling me that you don't have the talent up here. You're not at a point where you're ready to spend. And, yeah, you know what? For me, I am not here to tell you guys what to do. I can just tell you, school's out for summer. I don't need to care.
See what I get.
And if I have to hear, I'm sorry, just real quick, and I know I owe you the, hey, look at me. I'm sorry. Listen, if I have to hear another person, whether it's Stevie, whether it's Scott, if I have to hear another person tell me that Chris Ilitch is going to give me everything I need, you know what? Prove it. Prove it. My goodness.
I'm just wondering, is there a time clock somewhere on this where you can say at some point we're going, because all this tells me is we are going to keep kicking this can down the road until all of these young guys develop. And then, and only then, will we start spending money. And you're seeing what the product is now, where you want to send half of your young guys back down to Toledo because they don't appear to be ready, but I'm not going to spend a dime until everybody's ready.
Yeah, but see, here's what I don't like. All right? What I don't like is this. Last year, it was, we can't take away at-bats from the kids. It's important to develop. Now you hear a message where it's like, no, you need MLB players, you need guys. Which is it? See, okay, ultimately.
For me, it was more of a, hey, when Miggy's gone, we got money.
I know.
We're going to play ball. Wait, we're not.
So how fair or unfair is my angle with this, that if Scott claims Chris has all the resources available for Scott to build a winner, and Scott, either on a timeline basis, on a talent evaluation basis, or truth lies in the middle, probably both, swung and missed. The reality is, even a goofball like me knew they needed bats, couple of veteran bats. And no, I'm not dying on any individual hill. You know, Costa and Rieger were big Matt Chapman guys. I didn't make fun of it. He would have helped. Cody Bellinger would have helped. Somebody would have helped. Mm-hmm. They didn't do it. So now I have Scott Harris resurface, go on MLB Network, and say, no, trust us. Chris will spend when the time's right. We have no idea when.
And that's just it. We don't know. So we're not even saying, you know what, this year is going to be a developmental year, but next year you can invest in this team because we're going to invest in this team.
Kenny has more. Go ahead, Kenneth.
So you were talking about the Ilitches. This is what he had to say. The Ilitch family has always supported the Tigers, and they are ready and eager to do it. We just have to develop the core we're going to spend around, and we also have to target players in the upcoming winters that can really help us.
Upcoming winters.
Meaning maybe not this winter, maybe not the winter after that.
And that's what I'm saying. They're telling you. It's not going to be this summer. It may not be next summer either. You know what? We'll be right back.
So here's my question for you, the fan. And if you don't listen, and I mean this, there are certain topics I'll die on a hill. There's certain topics I'll go. You want to go to war, Balake? Because we can go to war. I'll go to war with you. Jay Quellen. This is not one. I have my opinion. If you have a different one, you are more than welcome. I don't think there's a wrong answer here. My takeaway, that while I am happy Scott Harris talked, because now it lets me know I can take the summer off, I think it's a joke.
Maybe summers.
No, I want to be Rico. I'm doing my best to be fair here.
Mike, I am too. But sometimes when somebody tells you who they are, believe them.
Yeah, that's fair. You have, and again, I'm not. This is not going to be a me versus you or me versus callers. Right. I just feel like they're telling you right now what we've all been saying. I don't need to say seems like, feels like.
No, it's now validated. And I would have been okay with that, but there was no timeline. And then the whole, winters, like, wait a minute.
And I think it speaks to why they drafted a high schooler last year versus a college bat. There's no urgency. And again, the Ilitches are eager. Are they? Because when Matt Chapman didn't have a job and he took a 1-year, $18 million deal, it's not 3 at 54. It's well known he's opting out. Did the Tigers scramble? No. They signed a guy with a broken pelvis.
But now it all makes sense because why spend the money? Because it still appears as if there's no expectations.
We have to develop the core.
Correct. So
that we're going to build around.
If the core is not ready, there's no point of bringing in somebody for a 2-year deal.
So then here's what we need to do. We have to develop the core. Okay. Call up Job. Call up Young. Call up Justin Henry Malloy. Daycare center. We're not playing for anything.
Bottom out, become a 4A team.
No, just whoa. I'm using his words. It's all about development.
No, I'm not.
How is Justin Henry Malloy at 24 years old developing at Toledo?
No, you're right. That's what I'm saying. You're going to bottom out, but if that's the end game is this team's going to get so much better down the road, let's just start the process. So, and then you'll start to spin.
So let me put it in these terms. I want to allow you guys a wide breadth of options. First of all, what do you make of the comments? Okay, do you feel like now, are you going to check out if you haven't already? Scott Harris is telling you, no, we're not ready to spend. It's all about development. Second of all, do you believe what he's saying? Look, let's face it. Scott Harris has to say that about ownership. He can't go out and be like, yeah, I'm hamstrung over here. He got a sign around his neck. Will work for bats. No. But how much do you believe in what Scott Harris is saying? Oh, trust me. You just wait. Magical day in the future we'll spend. Will you? So here, and again, I don't want to turn this into another Skubal thing. But Rico, it only furthers my belief. He's got a couple arbitration years left. You're wasting him now. Mm-hmm. With potential, I'm not going to go as far as you're going. You're not wrong. I'm saying I'm not going there yet. You could be wasting him next year, too.
Mm-hmm. I'll wait till tomorrow. You'll be on my side.
My point is, what impact does that have on the Skubal conversation? That if Scott Harris is telling you we're not ready to spend, we're not ready to try, well, then why the hell, what good is having a Cy Young caliber arm And I know I'm going to have to pay him $400 million versus this core is not good enough.
Right. And if you're going to be developing, trying to establish a core, sell him off, bring in more pieces, and maybe you can expedite this process.
That's where, okay, so we're on the same page there. 248-539-9797. I think there's a million ways to go with it. You guys know my thoughts on ownership. I don't need to regurgitate that. But Scott Harris spoke. I give him credit for that. I wish it would have been on this station with one of our other shows. Lord knows he wouldn't come on this one. The point is, he's telling you what we've been feeling. They're not trying.
No, I can appreciate the honesty. I
Yes.
may not like the message, but I appreciate the honesty.
Yeah. And now I think it allows me to simply, for myself, no one else, you do whatever you like. Have a daiquiri, Kenny. How long till football?
Yeah,
I'm not here for this.
Yeah, you don't have to sit there and be like, no, but they really are trying. They just told you. And to answer your question, I'll give it to you now. I won't make you wait. Yes, I do believe everything that he just said.
Including Chris will spend.
Eventually, Winters.
The Winters part says to me, like, it could be a little expenditure here and a little one there, and it's like Winters.
It's like, hey, Mom, can we stop at McDonald's? Yeah, maybe. You just start passing McDonald's after McDonald's.
Maybe at some point in the coming days.
Right. What about this? We just pass another one.
Maybe someday.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
248-539-9797. Got a couple open phone lines. Come and get them. Let's talk about Scott Harris's comments. Rico, go ahead.